naturally, and that's where it builds and builds.
Yeah, no. You're right. Once I listened to it, I was like, I know, and even the instrumental one.
Yeah, because it builds, right? So if we keep it on track with that, so they can hear what they were playing.
I see.
Wow. That was great, Benji.
There you go.
All right, Charo, tell us what inspired you to create this EP, and why did you title it TUMAINI? What exactly does TUMAINI mean?
Okay, my roots totally inspire me. I was born in Cuba. You know, I have memories of being in the campo in Manzanillo. All that inspiration came through for this album. TUMAINI means in Swahili, means hope. It means belief. And I do believe in this album, and I have hope. The first time I heard Rumba, I was 5 years old. I was sitting in a step on my cousin's house in Manzanillo, Cuba. I heard this percussion sound, and the next thing I see these guys running down in the middle of the street, and I just had this overwhelming feeling and ran behind them and started dancing. Later on, 2 blocks later, my mother ran after me to get me.
What made you think about incorporating Afro-Cuban rezos in your music?
The Afro-Cuban, I grew up celebrating saints' birthdays. We would have parties in the house. When there was a certain saint's birthday, they would play the song, and we would all, as a family, get up in the living room. We would all dance to the song. And to me, at that time, it was fun. But the way I'm looking at it right now, it's like a release. It was like a release, and kind of like connecting with our Afro-Cuban vibe. And I really want to integrate this in the music, because I thought it would be very interesting to have people feel what I felt back then. When we left Cuba, we went to Spain. We lived in Spain, and over there, I fell in love with the strings. I remember listening to guitarists playing flamenco. And after we settled in New York, I started listening to house music, and house music actually has a little bit of percussion. Rumba, it has a little bit of flamenco, it has a little bit of the Afro-Cuban, so that's how I was able to embrace house music. It was like, this is exactly where I belong, and how I developed the love to house music, because it's a combination of many of these rhythms.
What was your first job?
My first job was on a record shop on 181st Street. That time my brother was a DJ, and he had a DJ equipment, and he wouldn't let me play with it. Of course, he would kill me if I did. So I went really like on the deal and went to buy music. And as I was looking for music, the owner was firing this girl. The girl started crying. She walked out of the place, and the next thing he turned around and said, "Would you like a job?" And I was like, hell yeah, I want a job. And he's like, go start right now. But I do have very good memories of that place, and I still have friends, that I'm still connecting with because of that job. So yeah, that was my first job. It was a record shop in 181st Street in Washington Heights.
So tell us, how did you connect with Benji Candelario, aside from both of you being from Washington Heights?
Fun house. We used to go to the fun house, and we always used to find each other and hang out together, going to the clubs and listening to house music and whatever was going on at that time back in the 80s. TUMAINI was born. Basically, I had told Benji that I had these sounds that I would like to create, and I had all these ideas, but I didn't know how to put it together. And he basically said, you know what you want, and I know how to create it. So come one day to the studio and let's work on it.
I want to go to your partner, Benji Candelario, who helped you with TUMAINI.
That's right.
So Benji, tell us a little bit about yourself, your start. How did you get into this?
Wow, it's been a long time, and I don't want to divulge my age. But I started basically editing, arranging jazz records. I've worked with a lot of different people, Lenny White, Marcus Miller. That was my introduction to the whole thing. I started working at a studio called Shakedown Studios downtown. How I got into the house side of things was we started a label called Cutting Records, which developed into being one of the biggest independent labels. But my background has always been in deep house. When Charo came to me and said to me, I want to do this, and I said to her, wow, I haven't done that style of music in a really long time. And being that it was all drum based, and I'm a drummer, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to do it.
So what makes working on TUMAINI, what makes it special?
Special that I reconnected with someone that I hadn't been involved with in a really long time. And Charo herself, the fact that I admire her ear, for someone that basically is very new to what she's trying to venture into. She knows how to put sounds together, she'll know, she'll come to me every day and bring me something new. Being in this business as long as I have, you need different influences to just motivate you.
Tell us, it obviously took a lot of work and time and love and passion. Besides you being behind it, who do you want to thank, and who contributed to this project?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that we could be here for 3 hours that I would like to thank, but my main, I definitely want to thank Hope, is my partner in life, my wife. She had sacrificed a lot of her time, and she's been behind me, supporting me 100%. Finally, I want to thank my mom and dad for making the ultimate sacrifice, for taking me out of the motherland and bringing me here to this country where all your dreams come true.